What in the world has happened to this family? How would you feel about living inside of an airport for almost 2 decades? And there is a dish in Thailand where you potentially could die after eating it. Stay tuned for some weird, gross, and interesting facts. It's pretty clear that there's something abnormal with this family. The Whitakers from West Virginia are rated as the most inbred family in the United States because every one of them is related. However, recent records have revealed that their parents were cousins and not brother and sister as was earlier made to be believed. Also, the Whitakers family are secretive about their family history and are protected by the community where they reside, who have made it hard for anyone to interact with them. There are many well-known consequences associated with inbreeding in humans. Examples of specific genetic disorders include schizophrenia, limb malformation, blindness, congenital heart disease, and neonatal diabetes. Inbreeding can have benefits in some cases in non-human species. For example, inbreeding is popular in domesticating animals and creating new breeds suited to particular tasks or roles. This practice is also used in attempts to produce more ideal livestock and crops. However, in humans, inbreeding is generally considered to be harmful and can lead to an increased risk of genetic disorders and birth defects. It is also important to note that inbreeding can have negative effects on populations by reducing genetic diversity and increasing the risk of inbreeding depression, which is the reduction of overall fitness of a population as a result of inbreeding. I'm sure many of you are familiar with the frustration of delayed flights and having to stay at the airport for a prolonged period of time. What about living here for almost 2 decades? Mehran Karimi Nasseri was an Iranian refugee who lived in the departure lounge of Terminal 1 in Charles de Gaulle Airport in France from August 26, 1988 until July 2006, when he was hospitalized. He had arrived at the airport without proper documentation and became trapped there. He couldn't get on a plane without a passport, and if he left the airport to go into France, he would be arrested for not having ID papers. During his 18-year stay at the airport, Nasseri had his luggage at his side and lived off the generosity of airport workers who provided him with food and reading materials. He inspired Steven Spielberg's 2004 film, The Terminal, starring Tom Hanks. Wondering what you should eat for dinner today? What about a soup where most of the ingredients are raw and where you risk leaving parasites in your body with a possible deadly outcome? This Thai dish goes against everything you know about cooking. The dish is called lu, and the main ingredient is fresh pig's blood, and not just pig's blood, it's raw pig's blood. The bag of blood is bought at the food market where you also can buy everything from wasp larvae to bamboo worms. The raw blood is cleansed and mixed with a couple of raw eggs, condensed milk, and several spices. The dish is also often eaten with slices of raw pig's kidney and raw pig's neck fat. This has literally been the last dish of several unlucky people who have died from bacterial infection after ingesting this food. They really like it raw when it comes to this dish. All of us know that we need to wash our hands regularly to keep germs at bay. But do we ever stop to think about cleaning our cell phones? According to Seattle Times journalist Bobby Kana Calvin, your phone is covered in germs, 25,127 bacteria per square inch, to be precise. This makes cell phones one of the dirtiest objects we come in contact with every day. In fact, when compared to other items that are infamously dirty, cell phones take the lead. By far. For comparison, a toilet seat has 1,201 bacteria per square inch, and a doorknob has 8,643. Far less than a cell phone's 25,127 bacteria per square inch. Think about that next time you bring your phone to the dinner table. This clip serves as a reminder to contact lens users. Make sure to remove them after each use. This patient, a woman in her 70s, paid a visit to Dr. Katerina Kurtiva at California Eye Associates when her vision began to turn blurry and a sharp pain began to develop in her eyes. Dr. Kurtiva said she thought the patient had a piece of broken contact lens on her eye or debris from makeup. It was only when she used an eyelid speculum to hold open the patient's eyelids at the same time and asked the patient to look down that she noticed the edges of a couple of lenses stuck together. Dr. Kurtiva shared footage to Instagram of her teasing out numerous lenses from the patient's right eye